3, 2, 1.
Are you ready, baby?
We can just chill if you want to. We can pop a pill if you want to. You can just do it if you want to. We can take a trip if you want to. We can get it in if you want to. Do it all again if you want to. If I bring a friend, what you gon' do? We can talk about it when you come. Come through, come through, come through. Come through, come through. We can talk about it when you come. We can talk about it when you come.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another live. Today, we are going to talk about a new case that is on the rise in the news cycle and on social media. Make sure I get everything situated. Good morning, sister. How are you? I hope everything is lovely with you this Sunday, fun day. Amen. Praise the Lord. I'm still working this new thing with StreamYard. We are blessed as well. So the case that we're going to be talking about, this is something new that I'm doing. It caught my attention, and I just want to highlight it. Um, you know, just for today. I made sure, sis, that I got everything that I needed today. Um, my devices are acting a little strange, but we're gonna make this thing work today for as long as we can. So the case that we are going to be talking about is the case of a fatal stabbing at a track meet. This case is very fresh. It is 5 days old. As the headline from the publication states, suspect in fatal Texas track meet stabbing allegedly told police he was protecting himself. The reason why I have this excerpt is because this is very important. This is something that I feel is not being put out there like it should. So the victim's name is Austin Metcalf, 17 years old, a Memorial High School student in Frisco, Texas. And the suspect is also 17. His name is Carmelo with a K, Anthony. What just is out there for me, what stuck to me with this case was I was really trying to figure out why was this seemingly front page news. I couldn't put my finger on it. Just when I went on social media, I saw a few people talking about it. And I was like, okay, so two students get into it. One student stabs the other. He is now deceased. Why is this front page news? So I looked into it and I was like, okay, so there's, just from the look of it, there is a racial aspect to it because one student is black and the other is white. Maybe that's why it's front page news. So I read a little more and I was like, I don't get the racial aspect. So I still was in confusion. I said, let me do kind of like a medium dive into this situation. And that is where I found many inconsistencies, many things that stood out to me. And I was like, okay, I see why there's a push for this story. When you start seeing stories like this being featured in places like Fox News, I saw that Glenn Beck did a program. He featured it on his program. I found that that was weird. That was odd. So I was like, there has to be something else to this that I'm not seeing. Good morning, EJ. How are you, my love? Happy Sunday, fun day. Hope it is productive, as always. So, this is the basics on the case. Wednesday, what was this, the 5th? I believe it was the 5th. Not the 5th, I'm sorry. The 3rd. The 3rd. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but you do. At 10 a.m. in the morning, it was being reported that two students from different schools from Frisco, Texas, had some type of incident, and one student stabbed the other, and that student is now deceased. So initially, let me see if I have that. Initially, it was being reported that the victim, whose name is Austin Metcalf, was sitting with friends, his brother, possible teammates, underneath his school's tent for a track meet. We are unaware at this time what every single party was actually doing at the track meet. We have not gotten any pictures or any information if these two twin boys were actual competitors at the track meet or if they were spectators. We also do not have any information on whether Carmelo was a spectator or if he was a competitor. What we do know is that Carmelo has a video out there where he was at a track meet. He was involved in track and field activities. So we can say that Carmelo was probably a competitor at this track meet. Later on, this is still a fresh case, so later on we may get more information about whether the boys were there for the same reasons as Carmelo. But what we do know is that Carmelo was on the other team's side and he sat underneath their like team tent. You know how when it's bad weather or it's sunny weather and they're trying to shelter themselves away from, the sun or the rain, they sit underneath the tent. The group of boys noticed it. And so Austin told Carmelo that he had to move because he didn't go to their school. After that happened, Carmelo pulled out a knife and he told Austin, touch him and see what happens. After that, he stabbed him. The report said that he ran, and I guess the initial reports state that Austin fell into Hunter's lap, and that is basically where he struggled for his life until he succumbed to his injuries. So the first reel that I'm going to show, is it this one? Is this one. This is an account from the brother. It says his twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, was also at the meet and spoke to the officers at the scene. He said that after his brother told Anthony he had to leave the tent because he didn't go to Memorial, the two went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent, according to the arrest report. I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab, Hunter Metcalf told Dallas ABC affiliate WFAA. It was really senseless. I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. This is very important to what I'm going to say today. as to why the title of my life is The New Psyop. So at this time, I'm going to give a little warning and a disclaimer. If you've been over here before, then you know I love situations that have to do with different theories, or what I like to call tin hatter things. This is one of those lives. The reason for my title is because I believe that this situation is basically front page news, even though teens die every day, okay? There's lots of things that are happening in the world right now that are very crazy. I feel that, to me, this looks very psyopish. It does. Um, One thing that I do want to put out there is that I have to be careful with certain things that I say, with certain things that I show. These are my opinions. These are the opinions of Lush Gang. These opinions are not affiliated in any way with YouTube or StreamYard. This is just me. These are my thoughts. This is what I'm putting out there. If you've paid attention to the news cycles within the last couple of years, you will know that a large syndicated host by the name of Alex Jones, seemingly right wing, he was sued from families of Sandy Hook for perpetuating the lie, and I'm doing air quotes, that Sandy Hook was a hoax, or AKA a psyop. There are a lot of people who feel that same way that Alex Jones felt about that situation. But because he had a platform, a very large platform, lots of listeners, he was influential. They sued him and they won based on his opinions. So this is the reason why I'm going to be careful with what I'm saying today. I would love to mention examples of what I'm feeling with this case by, using certain other incidents that happened in American history. I'm going to refrain from doing that, just for the safety of my page, for the safety of my thoughts, for the safety of my freedom of speech, because as you guys know, in today's world that we are living in, and under the administration that our country is under, these things are being challenged like they've never been challenged before. It seems like we do not have free speech anymore. We cannot give our thoughts and opinions on everything. It becomes a mountain when it started off as a molehill. Even if I'm being funny about the situation, I'm using it for humorous purposes, it still could be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Harmful to my page. This is something I do for a hobby, so I don't want to be placed in one of those situations. So I will refrain from using the Boston bombing, 9/11, or Sandy Hook as an example. I am putting it out there so that you guys know where I'm going with this. Just know that I'm not saying it. So now that that's out of the way, we have a lot of racial tension in this country, and the smallest thing can ignite a huge fireball. I feel like this story being placed out there for us to indulge upon is it happened for this reason. This is what I would like to call the beginning of race baiting. Even though seemingly listening to this story, it doesn't seem like it's a racial thing, I feel like there are things that are missing out of this story that will come to light later on because, like I said, this just happened 5 days ago. Yet it has made its rounds in all the right wing media sources, and that is weird for something like this. Keep in mind the excerpt that I just read to you guys. I kind of want to pull the hair and windmill on court TV right now. Um, in my personal opinion, I feel that court TV did something that was disgusting, that was classless, and I want to call them out for it. So, while I was investigating this situation, I went to look for different interviews, and I saw that Court TV had did a little snippet on this situation. At the beginning of the video, they played a clip from an incident that happened before this incident, and it is completely unrelated to this incident. I don't know if you guys are aware of the baton track meet incident where one girl who was running on one team was running against another girl from another team, and she hit her in the head with a baton. The girl who was struck said that it was done on purpose. The girl who struck her said that it was an accident. It was all about the muscle movements and how she was running. She was kind of, losing pace. So to gain pace, she buckled. And that's how she hit her in the head with the baton. That situation has absolutely nothing to do with this boy, Austin Metcalf, being stabbed at a track meet. They were not running. They were not on the field. We aren't even sure if they were competitors, like I said. So it had nothing to do with it. This is also another sign of the media trying to race bait and turn this situation into a racial one when it's a crime. As of right now, from what we know, it's just a senseless crime. So that was disgusting. Shame on you, Court TV, for doing that. You, out of all networks, should know better. But I don't expect anything more of you or your affiliates. Trash. Trash. You're boring trash. You haven't been the same since the early 2000s anyway. I used to love tuning in to Court TV. Now I don't know what it is that your network is doing. So, back to the original excerpts. I saw a few social media influencers here on YouTube, on IG, and other places who made a big deal about the GoFundMes. The Metcalfs have a GoFundMe. They are the parents of the victim in this story. So it is expected for them to have a GoFundMe. The outrage poured in when everyone saw that the Anthonys had a GoFundMe for Carmelo. This is an example of the GoFundMes and the fundraising efforts for Carmelo. With very little research, I found that I could not find the GoFundMes, any of them. I was very upset. I wanted to go to the site. I could not find a single link in any publication that was discussing this case. I couldn't find a link, but in every one of those, there was a link to the GoFundMe for the Metcalfs. There was a reason for this, even though people were upset. If you can just read what these excerpts say, it fueled me to go even deeper. I ended up finding out that these GoFundMes are a hoax. They aren't real. The father of Carmelo Anthony stated they don't have any GoFundMes up for this situation. So this is another sign that this might be a psyop. This is more bait to fuel the fire of why are we treating the suspect in this situation away? Why would you donate money to the suspect's family? He unalived someone. He's the guilty party. Happy Sunday, fun day, LJ. How are you this morning? I hope you are lovely. It took very little time for me to find out that the GoFundMes were fake. But there's one that I have up here specifically. It is the Facebook group. Supposedly there's a Facebook group, and this is real. The Facebook group is real, with over 7,000 members in it, fighting for justice for Carmelo. This also angered people, which is weird because whatever side it is that you choose, depending on the information that's out there, that is your business. How you intake data is how you intake it. No one should be mad about whatever your beliefs are, but this country is kind of screwed up. So this is how things like that go. As you can clearly see, the person above the picture, his statements. It says Facebook has a private group, Justice for Carmelo Anthony, who is a victim of white supremacy. Disgusting. Without knowing a single thing about this case, obviously. That group is real, though. We just don't know who the members are. And that's something that you really should look into and pay attention. I was unable to get there right now. I will later. But once you see who's in the group, maybe that'll help you on who even made it. Because the owner of that GoFundMe is supposed to be some type of pastor. And he is not a black pastor. I just want to put that out there. Another way to seemingly throw racial tones onto this situation.
And there's another GoFundMe for Carmelo, and it's not ran by his mother or his father. It's somebody that has a fake name and a picture of somebody that's not real. It's a cartoon character picture.
Right.
And that GoFundMe is asking for a lot of money, and people are actually donating to it.
So it's a real GoFundMe.
Right. Not knowing it's not for the family. It's not for him, his legal representation, nothing, because the family didn't do it. So it's not theirs to receive or collect them funds for it.
Correct. So this is all weird. What would be the motive to create a real GoFundMe claiming that it's for justice for the suspect, Carmelo Anthony, when it has absolutely nothing to do with his family or him or his legal representation? What would be the motive? What would be the motive to create false GoFundMes? Just pictures that are stating that it's a GoFundMe. All you have to do is just go to the website yourself and just put in the information. You're going to find that these GoFundMes do not exist. What would be the motive of putting that information out there, if not rage?
And I'm sorry, I have a question to ask. Why would the photo for the GoFundMe, if the family set it up, why wouldn't it be a different photo of Carmelo?
Absolutely.
Other than his mugshot. That's what throws me off about that, and it's just weird. It doesn't make sense to have that picture. There are other pictures of the boy circulating.
Right. It would make perfect sense if it was a psyop. It would make perfect sense if it was used to race bait, to get one race upset with the other race and cause confusion, dismay, and chaos. That's what I feel is the motive behind doing certain things like this. So I'm going to put it up again so that we are aware. Let's refresh from the beginning. This is the statement that they took from his brother, Hunter Metcalf. The reason why this is important is because what was being said in publications before it hit the news cycle and there were interviews done, like face-to-face interviews done. Hunter said that his brother Austin died in his arms. The father originally reported that Austin died in Hunter's arms. I'm going to show you proof that that claim isn't correct, which also begs the question of why was it said in the first place. If you go to any news outlet, there are several on here on YouTube that you can look up. This is the headline. This is what they're going to say. Young athlete. They're not even going to say track star because that's not what's being claimed here. They're stuck on football. They're stuck on the fact that he played football, not ran track. So this is why I have the question of were they there because they were competitors or were they there as spectators? People make a mockery of both parties. These T channels. Yes, absolutely. Why was that said? Why are the news outlets stating young athlete stabbed, unalived in brother's arms? They are putting a huge emphasis on this young man, Austin, dying in his brother's arms, and that never happened. Not even in that excerpt that I just showed did Hunter say that his brother died in his arms. He said he tried to whip around fast, but he didn't see the stab. Okay? This is the second excerpt that I have from the statements that were made from the witnesses that were sitting underneath the tent and the brother, Hunter Metcalf. The witness reported that Anthony allegedly went inside his bag and said, "Touch me and see what happens," according to the arrest report. According to a witness, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to move him, and Anthony allegedly pulled out what the witness described as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Keep that in mind. I am going to play the interviews. We're going to start with the mother. During the mother's interview, the son comes out. We're going to go to the sons, and then we're going to go to the dads. Or no, should we talk about the mothers and the sons and then go to the dads? Okay, so we're only going to play the mother and the sons right now. We'll go to the dads after that. This is the mother's interview.
Because the kid was mad. My son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
I'm going to stop there for a second. I didn't feel like clipping that part and making it one of its own and then playing the rest. I'm going to stop there. If you listen very carefully, the mother says, because a kid was mad, her son isn't here anymore. This mother was not present during the incident. I am going to show you guys how that one statement is going to cause so much confusion, and it's going to cause so much misinformation to be spread in the following weeks of this incident. That one statement, her stating that Carmelo was mad without her being there and without her knowing what happened. Who's the aggressor and who wasn't the aggressor? That one statement. She opened up the floodgates with that one statement.
Because the kid was mad my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit, and so many kids loved him, and his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like...
They are the best of friends. Like, just... I'm so worried about my son, because he's going to have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone, and I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin today?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So, for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was just. It was too little, too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family, and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around the support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Hunter.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it, but he has a good heart. Everyone knows it. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it was gonna be mine so soon. My best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. It's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
that's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. Real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are how old are you?
17.
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
he would have.
He
for sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ of the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always good against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
Second team all district, which he
Second
should
team
have been
all-district,
first.
yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around, and it's
hard
just
worker.
extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
I don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just...
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just...
How much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me, I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy, so when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you, they're going to be around you no matter what. Like, he's a great leader.
Whew. When I tell you guys there is so much to unpack with the interviews. Tonight, when we go live, 7 p.m. our time, West Coast time, we are going to do a deep dive into the interviews. The mother's interview, the sons, and the fathers. I feel like just speaking about the basics and the details right now in this beginning live, We're just scratching the surface with this life. But later on tonight, we're going to go through those interviews. There are so many red flags in that interview that I just played. It is ridiculous. Did you guys see the lack of emotion for a deceased son? Imagine if just yesterday someone took your son's life away. Would you have done an interview like that? Would you have even agreed to do an interview, period? That boy isn't even cold yet when they did this interview. This situation is 5 days old. That interview literally was done the next day. The next day. I would be a wreck. I wouldn't have even come outside. I would have been like, get the hell off my lawn. That's what I would have done. There's no way. That interview, even if it was done, would have been laced with expletives and laced with my baby. You took my baby. They were talking about Austin like he wasn't related to them. You know, that was a good man, positive man. That man did this, that man did that. What? He was your brother, your twin brother. What are you talking about? Leg and right, you would be out of your mind. You would be ready to murk something. What the hell did we just watch? This is why I said we're going to wait until later to just tear those interviews apart. Tear them apart. Because it doesn't make any sense. The new Psyop, as I just stated. You have only seen something like this a handful of times in American history. Those incidents that I named earlier that I keep saying I can't talk about, that's where you're seeing this type of stuff at. Where were the emotions? Where was the bawling? Where were the yelling and screaming and the anger? This person just took your baby away in what you call a senseless act. Where was your anger? Where was your mother with? Where was it? For right now, what I want you guys to pay attention to is that Hunter said something and Hunter left things out. Hunter mentioned something about a backpack. That seems to be garnering attention on social media. We are unaware of whose backpack played a role in this crime. Was it Carmelo's backpack or was it was it Austin's backpack? Hunter just stated in that interview that Austin grabbed a backpack. He said Austin grabbed his backpack. Who is his? Was it Austin's backpack or was it Carmelo's backpack? Because what I clearly showed you guys earlier, and I will show again, is that the witness said that Carmelo Anthony grabbed his bag. And he said, touch me and see what happens. And then that witness went forward and stated that he saw him pull a black knife out of the bag. Explain to me why in the original statements that were given to publications, when I say publications, I am talking about like newspapers, people who write articles, not the news, like people who do interviews, face-to-face things. That's what I mean by when I say publications, the written. You understand what I'm saying? It was originally told to publications that there was no knife that was found. Then later, it was said that a knife was found in the bleachers and that the knife was preserved by putting a tarp over it to preserve the blood that was on the knife because it was raining. So now we have a reason for the beginning of the senseless act. Why Carmelo would have wanted to sit underneath the tent in the first place, because it was raining. That was something that they left out at first. There's a few details
Oh, he also doesn't Austin's statement to police contradict his statement on the news?
You mean Hunter?
Hunter, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. We're going to get into that right now after I tell them about the details that were left out. There were 4 major details that were left out. One was the fact that it was raining, which would give Carmelo a reason why he would want to sit underneath the tent, why he was even over there in an area he wasn't supposed to be in the first place. Another thing that was mentioned that was conveniently left out in the interview was the argument. The argument. If you watch the news cycles speak about this story, they conveniently leave out the fact that there was indeed an argument that happened between the boys. Hunter stated that there was a back and forth, but when he was interviewed, he left that part out. It's very important what was said during that back and forth.
His statement to the person on the news was that Carmelo was talking reckless.
Correct.
And he was talking reckless to himself? Oh, but you said he was talking reckless to all of you guys.
Exactly. And didn't say that Austin or anyone else said anything to Carmelo. He was the one that was talking reckless, aka what the mother said. He was mad because he couldn't sit there. That's what caused him to say, touch me and find out, basically. He pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the chest. That doesn't sound right, does it? There has to be something missing. You know what else was missing? The shove, the pushing, the physical altercation. In the original statement that was given to publications, Hunter and the witness stated that Austin put his hands on Carmelo. Carmelo also spoke to the police and told the police he put his hands on me. Why isn't any news media, anybody that's interviewing these people that are around them, the pizzeria that the mother and the son supposedly works at, why isn't anyone talking about the fact that Austin made the first initial contact by pushing Carmelo? In order for it to even get there, an argument had to ensue. It had to. We're going to go a little deeper. What was said during the argument? Could it have been something racial? Is that why you guys were coached to leave that part out? Later on, when we talk about the interview, I'm going to introduce something to you guys called coaching. That whole interview that I just showed you clearly shows that the mother and the son were possibly coached on what to say and what not to say. But there indeed was some pushing involved in this situation, which made Carmelo stab Austin. He most definitely put his hands on him. Why aren't we hearing this? Why aren't you guys focused on that? Could it be that in reality you want to hide the real crime that is happening right now with this situation, other than someone losing their life? We're not here to victim shame. That's not what we're doing. We're just here to try to understand why certain things are being left out of this story. Does anyone know that Carmelo is claiming self-defense? You probably don't know that because the media isn't telling you that. From the beginning, he took responsibility. When the police officer radioed in and said, I have the alleged suspect with me, Carmelo said, I'm not alleged. I did it. Those are his exact words. From the beginning, when he talked to the police, he was stating that it was self-defense. He said he put his hands on me. Why, when people like Fox News does interviews with these people Explain to me why is that left out? Ooh, that's a reel that I forgot to put up. All the pictures of all the places where they've done interviews so far. But yeah, why is that being left out? That Carmelo is claiming self-defense. There's a difference between this boy is locked up right now being charged with first-degree murder. They're basically trying to say that this was premeditated. How? He didn't even start the initial contact. Initial contact was when Austin told him to get from underneath their tent. I'm confused. Who's the aggressor here? This boy from the beginning is claiming self-defense. That is very important for this case. There's a difference between someone knowingly and willingly committing an unaliving in public of this magnitude. They don't even know each other. Hunter clearly stated that they didn't know him and he didn't know them. How can it be premeditated? That boy is claiming self-defense. You guys charged him with the highest charge that you could, even though you guys had evidence right there in front of you that it possibly was something else. First-degree murder, you guys. This is what I'm trying to figure out. And claiming self-defense from the very beginning. He touched me. I defended myself. All the media wants to do right now is paint this family, the Metcalfs, as this godly family. Later on, when we go over the interviews, we are going to shine a light on that as well, because the father, whose interview we have up next, the father made a statement about Carmelo's parents' parenting skills. And that's where he effed up at. He opened the floodgates as soon as he said something about Carmelo's parenting skills, his parents' parenting skills. He left it open for us to dive into you and your ex-wife, estranged wife, or baby mama, whoever she is to you. You left it open for us to get all in your business and find out what's going on with you guys. You shouldn't have said that. You should have left that alone. That also plays a huge part in why something in this case stinks. It stinks. The moment you said something about his parents, I immediately wanted to look at you and Austin and Hunter's mom. I immediately wanted to look at both of you guys to see, why would you even say that? There must be an issue here. We're going to play the father's interview now. Well, first I want to read what my sis said. Yeah, if he was defending himself, wouldn't that be self-defense? Exactly, sis. But they're trying to convict him in the court of public opinion without letting the public know that he is claiming self-defense. It's crazy work. Here is the father's interview.
Well, Jeff, I just take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach, who was not at the track meet, and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him, and they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car, and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. Mm-hmm. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm just, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So, I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So, I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment.
Whew. Did you see the lack of emotion in that interview?
Baby, he had emotion. He had a single tear.
He looked like he was drunk. He kept licking his look. I know an alcoholic when I see one, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Can someone please answer something for me? Can someone tell me why Mr. Jeff Metcalf, why did you talk more about God than you did your son in that interview? We're going to deep dive into that later. Another thing, why were you contacted by the football coach? So let me get this straight. You guys do not have an open line of communication. You, the mother of your children, your other son, you guys don't have an open line of communication because the mother stated that Hunter contacted her. She went to the hospital. The football coach, who was not present at the track meet, is the one who contacted the father. The father raced down there to where the track meet was being held at in enough time to see his son on the stretcher with a hole in his chest and his eyes rolled in the back of his head. This is without him being sent to the hospital. Okay? He was there at the scene of the crime. They all seemingly met up at the hospital, but if you listen to both of the stories, it doesn't even say that they met up at the hospital. It was like they weren't even in the same room. Now, something to think about for the later life. The incident occurred at approximately 10 a.m. that morning. This is what's being reported. Austin was deceased by 10:58. So you mean to tell me that he was stabbed? He had time to basically die in his brother's arms, according to the news outlets Hunter and Jeff, their original statements. He died in his brother's arms. Okay? They had time to put him on a stretcher. Hunter had time to call his mother. The mother had time to get to the hospital before Austin was even there. The father was contacted by the football coach who wasn't there. So someone had to contact the football coach so that the football coach can contact the dad. The dad made it there just in enough time to see his son on a stretcher. They had time to drive him to the nearest hospital, which is how many minutes away, baby?
6 minutes.
6 minutes away from where the track meet was being held. We looked it up. This is not what's being put out there. We actually did the investigation ourselves. The nearest hospital was 6 minutes away from where the track meet was being held. There was enough time to get him in OR. There was enough time to hook him to machines and work on him. And then he supposedly was deceased. So according to everyone's statements and what's going on, Austin died twice. He died in Hunter's arms, and then he must have been revived, and then he died at the hospital. All of this happened in a record time of 58 minutes. 58 minutes. We do not have any information about the exact hospital that Austin was sent to. We are just going by in the case of an emergency. A near fatal accident is not fatal. If the victim needs to be sent to the hospital, they're going to rush you to the nearest hospital. This is why we stated it was 6 minutes away. We still don't know which hospital he went to.
The furthest hospital was 10 minutes away.
Okay, and the furthest hospital was 10 minutes away. All of these accounts, everything that everyone is saying happened. The people on the scene, the people who weren't there, friends and family, all of these people. The hospital itself, what time he was deceased. This all happened in a record of 58 minutes. As a medical professional, there is no way.
And another thing that bothers me, this is about the mother's interview. She said she worked in Grapevine.
Right.
Grapevine is 26 minutes away from Frisco.
Do you see? 26 minutes away from Frisco. So the mother had to drive over 26 minutes just to get to Frisco from where she was at working. The time frame that they gave us was 58 minutes to an hour. That's it. That's the time frame they gave us. There's no way in hell all of this stuff could have happened in that short period of time. Something stinks. Something stinks. A lot of this stuff isn't making any sense. Jeff Metcalf, why did you need to be contacted by the football coach? Matter of fact, why are we discussing football? Who went off script here? If he wasn't taunting that student, and why couldn't it have been a coach to tell Carmelo Anthony that he could not sit under the tent? Girl, you own it, girl. You own it. What gave that Austin the authority to tell Carmelo Anthony he couldn't? You own it, girl. This is what started the altercation. Words were said. Insults had to have been thrown back and forth. We're just making an assumption right now. But insults had to have been thrown back and forth in order for the events to happen the way that they happened. They are leaving this information out. We are not going to get this information until the attorney for Carmelo Anthony speaks. We are not going to be able to get this information until that boy tells us, because the others, they are not telling us. They have been coached to not say that. There is something about this case, and it's their fault because they threw it in our face trying to race bait. Now you're probably going to get what you didn't want to get. We need to know what was said in that argument. We need to know, why did Austin push Carmelo? Because he indeed pushed him. His own brother said he pushed him. Why isn't the media telling the world that Austin pushed Carmelo? He touched him, bro. I know if someone touched me, it's on. We fighting. Why do you guys feel that's not important enough for us to know? Why are you trying to race bait with this case? We ain't going. We is not standing for this. We're not going for it. The race baiting, no. It's too many things going on in this country right now. We could be focused on.
So much stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, man.
Say it, baby. We can just re-say it later.
This is not about race. It's about two boys that had accidents. It's just unfortunate that one's black and one's white. That's not the issue.
Right.
The issue is a child was stabbed.
Correct.
So why are people putting up shit like White Lives Matter? This ain't about that.
Exactly.
This is not a racial issue.
But it is, because that is the point of the Psyop. This is for race baiting. We want to put something out here to garner your attention. Two children whose lives are forever changed. One who will be in prison, the other who is in the ground. This is what we want you to see. But underneath it all, we're going to be race baiting. We're going to be throwing little things out there so that you pay attention to the race of these characters. The whole point of this, the whole point of the Psyop is to cause racial tension. That's the point of this. That's the point of this. I remember during the George Floyd incident, I heard a lot of tin hatters say that was a Psyop as well. If it was, it worked. That Psyop was very successful. Very. Because you still have people to this day that feel that man's life was not worth anything, that they shouldn't feel any way about him being deceased by the hands of the white officer because they race baited so well during that incident. This, to me, is no different. I'm not saying that situation was a psyop. I'm just saying what I heard. All I'm saying is that this feels more so like it. People are going off script. The mother, the father, and the son, the emotions that they should have had the day after this incident, they should be together. Why wasn't the father where the mother was? Don't you guys have a funeral to plan? Don't you guys have so much on your plate right now? This is a case now. That boy has to stand trial. And someone should have told you that he is claiming self-defense, which means you guys might have to have a court appearance. You guys should be together in the same vicinity talking about this, sharing good times about your son. Why are you guys somewhere different? But yet the father wanted to open up his mouth and talk about the relationship of Carmelo Anthony's parents. People that we haven't even seen yet. We've just heard from the father. This is a problem. As soon as you said that, you knew they were going to dive in deep. Now we see all these baby pictures of the brothers. We're seeing all of this stuff so that they can prove the relation. That's how you know it's a psyop. Why do you need to prove the relation of those boys to each other or those boys to their mother and father? You don't need to prove that, but they're going out of their way to prove it. They're going out of their way to make a case for that, just in case someone like me, a tin hatter, may think that this situation isn't real. It's put out there for another purpose. There's so many red flags. They're not even doing it clean anymore. They used to do these psyops really clean, but now, no. We can see the rabbit hole. We can see it. You didn't even cover it up correctly. Do you guys know that they are already doing clean sweeps of social media right now? Austin and Hunter's social media has been swept. Why? Why has their Facebook pages and things like that, IG pages, why have they been swiped? What did they have on their page that you guys don't want us, the public, to see? This case stinks. So Carmelo is getting railroaded already. He hasn't even spoken. He hasn't even said anything. Dang right, sis. Somebody touches me, I'm fighting your ass. Right, exactly. It's on like Donkey Kong. Facts. That goes for anybody. Why would someone need to ask, well, the most important thing, I keep hearing this throughout social media, people who are talking about this situation. The most important thing is, why did he have a knife? What was the reason why he was carrying? Why is the reason that any of these fools are walking around here carrying guns and knives and all the rest of that shit? For protection. So you honestly feel that you need to ask a 17-year-old, why do they have a knife with them? Come on now. So we're just gonna act like, I'm just confused. Would you like to go ask the Columbine boys why did they have guns? I mean, keep the same energy, people. Why did they have guns? Why did they bring them to school? Why does anyone do anything? Do you know how many children have brought weapons to school since that Columbine incident? Do you know how many incidents have happened since the Columbine incident? Hundreds of thousands. Once again, I would like to get in their ass again. Court TV and your stupidity. Why are you saying on your broadcast, this is just, unprecedented? These types of situations just don't happen. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So we're going to act like the media did not push up and big up the Lanza brothers. One brother who didn't have anything to do with it, but the Lanza brothers. So you guys don't remember them being on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine? If you don't know who that is, Adam Lanza is the person that is responsible for Sandy Hook. He was rewarded, basically. So you're going to act like we didn't just have a cluster of school shootings or children bringing weapons to school within 2024 or 2023 or 2022. Get the hell out of here. This is not an isolated event. This happens every day, all day, everywhere. I remember when I was in high school, people brought weapons to school. We had a whole incident at school where one guy who didn't even go to our school, you know what I'm going to say, one guy who didn't even go to our school came to our school on the bus with children who were zoned for the school with a machete in his hand. And he chased another student who was zoned for that school around the entire school with the machete. After that situation happened, they installed cameras in the hallways at our school. To say that the person that came with the machete, he's in prison now, he may be out. But that was a punk. I ain't gonna even tell the story. I'm gonna leave my peeps out. And to say that the person that was chased around the school is in prison right now for killing the mother of his children in broad daylight. This is the person that we spoke about on one of our lives, one of our previous lives. We spoke about him. He was the one that was being chased from the dude with the machete. Things like this happen. This is early 2000s we're speaking about right now. This type of stuff occurs. Don't sit up here and act brand new like this does not happen in certain places. It happens everywhere. Court TV, go to hell. You are an embarrassment to journalism in this moment. You really, truly are. You're pathetic. You could just deliver the story the way it should be delivered. You don't have to do all that extra stuff, all that hood rat ratchet stuff that you're over there doing. Okay? You guys got Nancy Grace. Okay? Just sit back. You don't need anything else. You're doing well as a network. You don't have to do this. This race baiting and this blonde acting that you're doing. I mean, beside yourself. There's so many inconsistencies that are very important to this case. Later on, when we talk more about it, we will point them out. But at least with the information that we have right now, we should be able to get down to the bottom of what is being hidden here. Why is it not out that Austin put his hands on this boy first? That Austin started the argument first by telling him, you can't be in here. What is being hidden and why? Why are they allowing the mother, the father, and Hunter to do interviews? It is too soon. You guys don't know what's going to be said, what's going to come out. Obviously, you said something wrong because you were coached to not say certain things once you were interviewed. You guys are so happy-go-lucky to go skip over there to Fox News and their fake news network to tell your story, but leave out the most important parts. Let's crucify Carmelo without due process. We know that our president don't give a damn about due process. We currently have an innocent man who was deported to El Salvador for no reason, just because of his race, ethnicity. He was deported over there, and now a judge has said, you orange fool, you better bring him back. So now we have an entire court system that is waiting on bated breath for a wrongfully deported man to enter back into our fucking airspace, our land, our borders, because of the mistake that a man who represents the entire country made, and he made it on purpose. He made it on purpose. We know he doesn't give a damn about free speech. We know he doesn't give a damn about your rights. He doesn't give a damn about the Constitution. So now I guess everyone who is accused of a crime does not need to have due process as well, right? So we're just going to crucify this young man without knowing the facts of the story. He's hollering self-defense. We're going to ignore the fact that he's saying that he defended himself because the person that he stabbed was white. Enough of this. Some of us won't stand for this. Now do you see the anger that I have? Could you imagine this type of conviction, this type of anger on a larger scale, like how the George Floyd situation was? Now you tell me, do you believe this is a psyop or no? Did you pay attention to the mother and how, what's up with the smiles? What's up with the laughter, the little chuckles? Can I see? I know we're live, but I still want to see them. They look really, really good. They're beautiful. Ooh. What is this? Like white tiger? Is this like white tiger? I'm sorry, y'all. I have to be ghetto for a minute. Oh, they're cute. They're a little gaudy, but they're cute. Thank you, baby. I love you. Is there anything that you would like to say in this moment? I know you really want to save your best stuff for later.
This is just a tragedy. Two families are going to suffer throughout this whole situation. You know, both families then lost their child right now. as it stands, one child is deceased and the other child is locked up. Um, it's just tragic. And the fact that people are trying to make it a racial issue is even worse. It doesn't make sense. It's a crime that happened. We don't even know all the details yet. And y'all already making it about something else. And stories just don't add up. The math ain't mathing. People are changing stories already. So it's going to be crazy once everything finally does come out. Because the more information we know, it's going to be like, why lie in the first place about your story? Why change your story? It's a reason to change your story. Either you're changing it to make someone look bad, or you're changing your story to make someone look good. But either way, you change the story, so that means what you say is incredible. Because your story should be consistent. I have to give statements and everything all the time. And if my statement is not consistent, every time I tell it, I won't be believed in what I have to say. Because it's not consistent. The story is changing. So the accounts don't line up with what happened. Because I'm changing the story. And especially if somebody else is there and their stories start to differ. But the one thing that is consistent that hands were put on Carmelo. That's consistent. Through his own statement and through the witness statement. Hands were put on him.
Can you put that back in there? In the like protective sheet. You handed this over to me. Okay. As I stated earlier, this is my life is not to victim shame. My life is not to say that I'm on one side versus the other. The boy, Carmelo Anthony, he killed someone. He unalived someone. And he took responsibility for it. So he most definitely is guilty of that. And if it wasn't in self-defense, he deserves to be punished to the highest extent of the law. It has always been false, the statement that we know as Americans that you are innocent until proven guilty. That is a bold-faced lie, and it has always been. You are guilty until proven innocent. If you are accused of a crime, you have to fight your way from the bottom to the top, especially if you are a minority. Thank you, EJ, my love. That's just what it is. Maybe if we were from the mountains of Caucasus, it would be different. Maybe that statement is true for them, but it most definitely is not true for most. I don't feel like this case is gonna get all that hoopla. I don't think so. Because I feel that this is a distraction from other things that are happening. A huge distraction. We just had hundreds of thousands of employees from places like the Department of Human Health Services and things like that fired just recently. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it happened the day before yesterday. Okay, we have so many huge fishes to fry. Okay, just think? Remember what I told you guys. Where do you think these people are going to go? This is not a war of races anymore. This is a war of classes. These people had good ass jobs. Imagine you're a person that makes over 60 grand a year, okay? And you're just fired. You still have bills to pay. Your bills ain't been fucking shut off. They haven't been fired, okay? Your kids still have to eat. This person just took away over $60,000 of your revenue instantly from you, okay? And then you're taking away jobs from the places where you would reach out to get assistance, like unemployment, like the welfare office, Social Security, Veteran Affairs. You're firing all of these people. So now you have to put in claims and you have to wait forever just for these claims to come through. Imagine how hungry and pissed these people are going to be come May the 1st. Where do you think these people are going to go? They're going to go and look for something temporarily in the field of the lower class people. You know, people who make 20,000, maybe 30,000 a year. They're going to go look in your realms. And then what happens if they take your job? You're let go from your job and they replace you. Then what? It's the shift of the classes. The only person that's not being shifted is the 1%. You want somebody to work them fields so bad, don't you, President Tangerine? Don't you? You think that you think that people who have, you know, jobs where they're comfortable in, like I'm out here in Vegas. You work in the casino, you do okay for yourself. So you think that these servers, these bussers, these hostess, these bartenders, these cocktail waitresses, you think that these people are going to be bumped from their positions because of the college educated people who lost their government funded jobs, right? You think that those people are actually going to fucking bend the knee and go pick an orange? I don't think so, homie. It's not happening. But that is what he's trying to do. He wants some of these top educated engineer type folks to go into the automotive business. Go put together some freaking car parts so that we can have all of our cars made right here in the good old USA. We don't need no stinking milk from Canada. We don't need no stinking energy from Canada. We can make it right here. We want everything made right here in the USA. We are going to become self-sufficient. Do you not hear the bullshit that I am speaking right now? Just bull. This is what this man wants. He is tearing us up from the inside so that he can rebuild us. He knows he's tearing us up. Markets are crashing and everything. He know what he do. He don't care about none of this stuff. We're gonna hurt. But he holds his pillow close at night because he's hoping that the hurt doesn't last too long and it doesn't hit specific people. He just wants all of our asses to suffer, to become slaves to the country, to the movement, so that we can be self-sufficient and we can look like the big man on campus. Now he wants to turn himself into an American Putin and try to take land from other people that doesn't belong to us. I'm sorry. When did you become Christopher Columbus, sir? I mean, last time I checked, I thought you were a draft dodger. You can't even fight for this country. But I blame all of you. Not you in the chat, but these other folks. I blame you. Because you put him back in there when we got him out of there. You guys wanted a draft dodger as a president, a person who doesn't even want to fight for a country. He just wants to run it. He doesn't want to fight for it. He doesn't want to keep borders safe physically. He doesn't want to be my husband. He doesn't want to be my brother. He doesn't want to be my uncle, my nephew, my fucking cousins. He doesn't want to be my grandfather, my great grandfather. He doesn't want to be my dad. My dad was over there and he got sprayed with that Agent Orange. Made him a little loopy. The government feels that his offspring are a little loopy too. Oh no, you don't want to give to this country. You don't want to give. You don't want to prove to the people of this country that you care, that you really do love this country, that you want to see everyone be free and treated equally and love the space that they're in. Oh no, that's not what you want to do. You just want to put underneath your belt, I'm a businessman, rich mogul, and I was a president. You don't even care if you're a good one. You don't even care if you're a good one. You don't care about anything. I mean, do you care about your children? I mean, we know you don't. You definitely don't care about your wife. What is it that you do care about? Oh, yeah, I forgot. You do care about that manifest from Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, you care about that, don't you? You care about those videos that they're releasing with you cozying up to him. You care about that type of stuff. Ah. Ooh. It's a grand day, isn't it? Getting all of our little packages. This is just another distraction. It's another psyop. But I'm interested. You have me. You had me at hello. I'm going to pay attention to this because just in case it isn't, just in case I'm wrong, just in case I'm wrong, I want to at least have the information to correct my wrongs.
I'm about to be on some real murder shit, eh? I'm telling you, man. Any nigga that ever looked at me wrong, owes me money, or ever said any jealous bullshit about me is fucking dead. You understand what the fuck I'm saying? Hey, they're fucking dead, man. I don't give a fuck about nothing, man.
So yes, later tonight, we will be live at our normal time, and we will be doing a deep dive into the interviews. There's extra things that we did not discuss this morning. Like I said, this is light work. We were just grazing over some of the situations. I really want to point out the inconsistency in the original statements versus what's being stated now. I really want to focus in on the knife. I want to focus in on the witness who has not been identified and probably will never be identified until a trial or whatever, about seeing him pull the knife out of the backpack when Hunter just stated in his interview that his brother is the one who had the backpack. Whether it was his backpack or it was Carmelo's, we don't know, but he did state that he had the backpack. So if the brother pre-stab had the backpack in his hand, and if what the witness said was true, that he saw him pull the knife out the backpack, that means that everyone that was there underneath that tent and around that tent all saw him with that knife. They all saw him pull it out of his backpack. They all saw it in his hand. That means something had to happen in an exchange that made him lift the knife up and stab the boy. That's all I'm saying. We have one person that's standing right there saying that he saw him pull the knife out the backpack, and then we got the brother saying that his brother grabbed the backpack.
What did you grab the backpack for? What was the reason? Was it yours? Was it Carmelo's? Did you take the backpack from the person you told to get on up the road? I don't understand that. If I don't want you sitting next to me and I tell you to move, I'm not grabbing any of your things. I want you to grab your things and I would like you to move. That's how that would have been stated. If it was me, I wouldn't have taken your property. So all of this is ass backwards. It's all wrong. I don't understand any of it. And I'm pretty sure no one does. They're just throwing things at the wind and hoping that they catch. That's it. But that is very important to this case because that's the unaliving weapon, the knife. So we need to know, where did it come from? Did it come from his back pocket? Did it come from that backpack? If it did, then why was the backpack ever in Austin's hands? Once the backpack was in Austin's hands, where was the knife? Was it in Carmelo's hands? Because the witness said he saw Carmelo take it from the backpack. And remember, Hunter said he grabbed the backpack. Hunter was turned around or something. He tried to whip around as quick as he could, but by that time his brother was stabbed. There is also something that Hunter said in the beginning, that he said his brother ran towards him holding his chest because he was stabbed in it. So that means Hunter wasn't actually close to Austin. See, there's so many inconsistencies in this story. You just have to really look deep. Yes, did the parents of Carmelo speak out yet? The father spoke, but basically all the father said is that his son was a good kid. He works 2 jobs. He has a 4.0 grade point average. Basically, just like, this is not like him. And the father came out and said that there is no GoFundMe's for the family. No family member or friend of the family has set up a GoFundMe. So obviously, to push this psyop, someone on the opposite side, someone who doesn't have anything to do with this, started GoFundMe's or something in this boy's name to further push the narrative that he doesn't deserve justice. He doesn't deserve sympathy. He doesn't deserve to be represented. It doesn't matter if you committed a crime. You still deserve representation. You still deserve a defense. You still deserve due process. That is your beautiful American right. You still deserve that. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be new things that are going to come into play as the weeks go by. I believe most of this is going to fade into oblivion anyway, because there's so much crazy stuff going on. Yesterday was the National Day for Protest, to protest against Trump and muskrats. Tyranny. Tangerine and muskrat. I don't want to call him Tangerine because, like, we have a Tangerine here and we like her. So I got to call him something else. Apricot. No, Mandarin. Whoop, there it goes. Mandarin man. I mean, I like Mandarin chicken too, but I'd rather call him Mandarin than to call him Tangerine. Tangerine represents, you know what I'm saying, something else. So we're going to call him Mandarin from now on. The Mandarin man and the muskrat. That's what we'll call them. That's what we'll call them. There's even more details that were left out. My husband has been diligently working on this case with me while working, okay? And he has combed through so much, okay, through the family members, social media, and everything else. And there's more pictures I would like to put up, like the fact that they tried to scrub pictures of Austin and Hunter with guns. You guys know that we are a gun-toting family. I believe that all children above a certain age should learn how to shoot a weapon, hold a weapon, handle a weapon with care. I am country, okay? So you guys know that when it comes down to hunting things, this is where our family is at. So I do not see anything wrong with the boys if they were avid hunters with them having rifles or anything like that. I don't see anything wrong with that. So that's the reason why I am confused as to why was that wiped from their social media. So you guys are gun toting family. Who cares? Like, who cares? That doesn't make you a criminal. It's sad that when things like this happen, they love to villainize people by going into their background. Um, it's a little funky right now that these type of things are not being discovered about Carmelo, but they're being discovered the about the Metcalf boys. It just doesn't matter to me. That type of stuff doesn't matter to me. But I guess, to keep them safe, maybe that's why it was wiped. But there's always a watchful eye. So someone always sees, and we seen it. I'm just being honest. Lots of pictures were removed from their social media. You know what I mean? Some of their social medias is just gone now. Gone, private or gone. We do not know if from the beginning Carmelo's social media was private or not. But we know this is where they go with it. We know this. To go in the person's social media and look back at things that they've posted, things that they've done, and say, oh yeah, that person is a straight criminal because this is what they've done. Okay. What is this?
Something from like 2 months ago.
Hold on, y'all. You're so goofy. It smells good. I like that.
Ordered it 2 months ago. It didn't show up. Got a refund. It came.
Oh, you ordered it 2 months ago? You got a refund and then it came? Okay. Scammer. Let me see. Oh my God. Is it this color or does it glow this color? Okay. My son just got his new glowing keyboard. Okay. I feel a little better now. Let's see, sis. Somebody is lying for this Austin Metcalf. The way they can charge Carmelo Anthony for first degree N word. Yes. I mean, because it's so early, we really don't know. But, and it's not even sis that it seems like Austin was the aggressor. He was, according to the accounts, the original accounts. This is coming from his side. The friend that was there or the teammate that was there and his brother. I still want to know why were they at the track meet. I've seen a video of Carmelo participating in track and field events. I have not seen any pictures or videos of either brother, whether it's Austin or it's Hunter, in track and field gear. I've only seen them in football gear and basketball gear. That's it. When they spoke about Austin, when the mother, when the father, when the brother spoke about Austin, they only spoke about football. I think someone messed up the script. This was supposed to happen at a football game, not a track meet. And they messed the script up, girl, because it wasn't that. I want to know why were they there? Are they on the track team? No one is saying that because that also matters. If Carmelo was there because he was on the track team and they were there and they weren't, they were just there as spectators, then they could have been there as agitators. My husband did a deep dive on Frisco. It's demographics and everything. I told him to hold off on us speaking on that because I wanted to get the basics out and keep it focused on the actual crime, the suspect, Carmelo, and the victim, Austin. I wanted to keep it on that. We know it's psyopish. We know that they're race baiting, but I don't want to take it immediately to the race baiting until I have to. Then that's when we'll talk about the demographics of where they live. We'll talk about the demographics of the school. We'll talk about all of that stuff when the time is right. I didn't just want to come out the gate with it. You know what I mean, sis? I'm backwoods Barbie. When it comes to these backwoods, it comes with hats, wear shorts, with boots. This is what I'm saying. It's nothing wrong with them having pictures with weaponry. It's okay. That's fine. Why would someone feel the need to wipe that from their social media? They live in Texas, okay? There was nothing wrong with that. But obviously, if you had some stuff on your social media that was racial, yeah, I could see that. If that boy comes out, if the attorney comes out and says, okay, the attorney has already came out and said that he's basically claiming self-defense. But if he comes out and says he has a statement from Carmelo and it says that racial shit was hurled at him, then we have a problem. We have a problem. Yesterday, I was watching other content creators about this, speaking about this incident. Um, Basically, a lot of news outlets. And I got into, a little debate with someone in the comment section. And it was the funniest thing ever. I stated, so this is my eighth video that I've watched from a news outlet where they aren't saying anything about Carmelo claiming self-defense because he was pushed. What a shame. What a waste. What a waste. That's what I said. Here comes, the little trollish people in the comment section. Let me guess. The boy who stabbed the other boy. That's where you heard that from, right? My heart fluttered. Ooh, I was like, ooh, I love this. I love getting into it with people in the comment section who obviously do not know anything about what they're watching. So I put my class on and I said, I will implore you to go back and watch more coverage of this story and then come back to this comments. In fact, it was the victim's brother, Hunter. See, I can tell you aren't paying attention to this story. You're just a race baiter. You don't even know their names. The kid who stabbed him, his name is Carmelo Anthony. That there was pushing, shoving, and back and forth was the brother of the victim, Hunter Metcalf. Maybe you need a refresher. I felt so good when I said that. And guess what? He didn't comment anymore. He didn't comment anymore. There are some sickos out here. You guys are sick. You sycophants. Yes. You sick people. You sickos. To sit here and just see a story, see two people, see that they're clearly two different races, and decide to comment some BS under the comment. Be respectful and at least comment, my condolences to the family of the deceased, like I did. This most definitely was very unnecessary and senseless, but I am still waiting for more information to be released. When I wrote my comments in the comment section of these videos, they got a lot of likes. A lot of people who commented and was like, which part is weird to you? And I happily commented back. All of it. This part, this part, this part. A lot of people agreed with me. So I'm not the only one that's looking at this story trying to figure out why was it made front page news when it isn't a huge story. Things like this, they really do happen every day. They do. A lot of stories like this, they don't even have the details that this one has. Carmelo didn't run from his responsibility. He took ownership. He went to jail like he was supposed to. He said he was guilty, but the reasons were self-defense. He immediately said this. He wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything. He openly admitted that he took someone's life that he didn't have any business taking. He's very much guilty of that. Very much so. He brought a weapon to a situation that didn't need a weapon, whether you were trying to defend yourself or not. People carry. It's not like people are coming after them every day, but still, you're responsible for what you had on you. You deserve to be punished for that because you used it for this situation. But if you truly were defending yourself because they were attacking you, that changes all of this. It changes it. And it doesn't matter if he's black. If he was white, I would say the same thing. No one deserves to take something that doesn't belong to them. My life doesn't belong to anyone else but me. My creator, my God, he's the one that gave me this life. He's the one that put me inside of the beautiful vessel, my mother, who gave birth to me. And she doesn't even have the right to take my life because it doesn't belong to her. That goes for anyone. Forget the color of your skin or where you were born. I don't care. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what your ethnicity is, what you celebrate, what your beliefs are. I could care less. I don't have the right to take anything from you, and vice versa. Anyone who's guilty of anything deserves to pay for what they're guilty of. We live in a generation right now. Just go anywhere on this app right now. You'll see what I'm talking about. We live in a generation where people know people commit crimes, and you have dumbass hood rats and hood boogers and backwood people and redneck people who will sit here and say, free my guy, free my sis. Like, what? That person is a criminal. That person is guilty of what they did. What are you talking about, free them? No, keep them in there. Keep them in there away from people who don't commit crimes. I have a saying. Don't half-ass, whole ass. If you're going to commit a crime, please be ready to do the time. I mean, if you think you Billy Badass, then please, when it comes time for you to pay the piper, make sure that you have all funds available. That's insane. But a lot of things that are happening currently are insane. This is a world of insanity now. Did self-defense because he might have felt like he was trying to attack the boy. Could be true. If I felt threatened, I would damn sure protect. Exactly. Anyone would. You're supposed to protect yourself. Nobody's going to care about you like you. So you are most definitely supposed to protect yourself and protect anything that belongs to you. Let that be the lesson for today. Yeah, I'm almost. So we'll be back later. I appreciate everyone that stopped by, that tuned in. Thank you so much for your support. We love all of you. Meet us back here in a few. You know, Sunday Fun Day. Make sure that you stay safe, stay informed. And not enough people tell you that. Stay informed. Turn water into wine. Shit, good morning. Baby. Maneuver safely through these YouTube streets, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye now.
Go, go.